I just want you. I just want you. The words I never said but wanted to. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. Oh, but these thoughts won't let you go. They keep running back to you. Whoa.
Yo, JD here, to Limus, and as you can see by the video and by that little intro there, that league racing is back, and it feels so good for me to say that. Honestly, it's a thing, it's a passion of mine, it has been for quite a few years now, and this is back to my roots. This is the reason why I did YouTube. It just feels so good to be back, and I really do hope you enjoy these videos, because I'm very much looking forward to the season. And if you weren't aware, this is Australia, Melbourne. This is round 1 of AOR, not officially season 10 because assists are allowed, apart from obviously the pit lane limiter. All assists are actually allowed, but that's not really an issue for me because I actually go quick without assists, and no assists is ultimately quicker. Well, it's been proven that it is quicker, so there's no real issue for me. I'm running no assists because obviously I wouldn't be running anything else. And this is a lap that is a very good lap until the last corner or so. You'll be able to see. Quite disappointed with that, but so far I've managed to actually choke 2 laps. So I've had 2 runs. Cut the corner the first time, both of those in fact. And just a little bit about this track. Normally I say I really enjoy this track, but this track is a track I really do not enjoy. And F1 2013, as you can see there, was on such a good lap, an actual clean lap as well. And we managed to actually cut a corner, and you can see in this is my 3rd or 4th attempt actually. So I'm actually on my 5th lap now, and I haven't even set a lap, and there's about 40 seconds or so to go. This is actually the only lap I did in qualifying, and it's a good lap. A little bit disappointed because the lap before, where it was going almost so perfect, was cleaner and it was actually faster as well. It would have been a very quick time, probably my PB ever, if I actually made it around that lap. But as I was saying, this track is not a favourite of mine. I've never really been quick around here. I know I won last season, season 9, but that was on F1 2014, and I was very good at this track in F1 2014. But this track in F1 2013, never been good at it really, to be honest. Had a disconnection in season 8, season 7 I believe it came 5th or something like that. Just didn't have the pace. Didn't have the pace in season 8 either, even if I did actually finish the race. I've just never really been good because of mainly just trying to be as clean as possible as well around this track, because you can gain a lot of time. As you imagine, navigate that chicane pretty cleanly on the limit, which is where you can gain a lot of time. So really just focusing on trying to stay on the track as much as possible, but obviously trying to be quick as well. Yeah, but this track has never been a favourite of mine, and for me, actually getting in the top 5 or something would have been a good result. And coming into the season, I know that every position or point counts, even though sometimes you may feel that it's not a good result. It can really actually make the difference at the end of the season, as I know all too well with season 9. And you can see here, we actually managed to get 3rd place on the grid, and so in the end, that was a good time. And by my standards in qualifying and around that track, that's actually a very good time for me. I believe in that season 7 the pole time was a 2 or something like that. So as you can see, we've got quite a few quick drivers in this league. Lee Yi doing a 20.9, which is a pretty crazy lap, has to be said. Obviously, a few people are definitely very, very quick, but this track can definitely promote some, let's just say, limits exposed. So on the start line now, trying to get a good start here. Normally I don't get good starts, but as the lights go out now, and we actually get a really, really good start, and I'm not even host of this lobby, and we get a really, really good start. So we're up into second place already, trying to not hit Andre on the inside of us. Another Italian, the 2 Italians around us actually, and we managed to get into second place in the race. So a really, really good start. And considering this track is really not a track where I was expecting to win or expecting to do well or anything at all, I really was just trying to do damage limitation here, because I know consistency is key. Consistency throughout a season is everything, really. You do not have to win every race to win a season. You don't have to get pole position in every single race, as Matty G did in Season 8. He didn't get a pole position and he won the championship. So it just shows that just being consistent is key. And as I said before, I've said it many times before, that is the main thing. Outweighing raw speed, it's definitely the consistency factor that you really do need. But at the moment, we do have the speed at the moment. We're actually on the back of Yi, and the setup I'm using is definitely promoted towards holding my tyres quite well. Really just designed to, when the tyres go off, that I still have good traction. And this car is particularly very good. It seems to be when the tyres go off, it seems to be very, very stable and sturdy, which is why I'm very, very happy I do have this car. But you can see Martin is actually behind us now, and he is extremely, extremely quick. Very, very quick around here, and he's definitely, in my opinion, one of my biggest rivals for me. Obviously aiming to win the championship, because I haven't won the AOR championship after coming close a couple of times now. Particularly last season was pretty devastating, to say the least. But Martin has obviously demonstrated in previous races, and obviously an AOR double time race winner as well. He's definitely got the experience to win in this league. But Yi in front of us, who's a bit of a time trial specialist, has obviously got the pace as well. And Williams, who's actually still in the lead at the moment, and you can see our tyres are definitely starting to go off now. And this just feels so good to just be racing again, to be honest, as we get a little bit of dirty air. Just for me, just being in a league race again, and I was just so happy. I wasn't really bothered about a position I really did come this race, because there's been seasons where I've had rubbish results, but still definitely closed the gap in other races. So this would just be a bonus to me if I just get a good result, because I know at other tracks I'll definitely be coming back strong. For my strong tracks, I know I'll really will have to maximise on those tracks, and I feel very, very confident I'm coming to the season. As we make the pit stop now in net second place, let's see if we come out. Have you actually come out in first place? So that is the first time ever. I would say I've actually had a bit of luck in the pits, and I couldn't believe that, because I was actually between 2 cars and I managed to come out in the lead, the net race lead, as Chris X Stars is actually, I believe, on the prime strategy coming past us now. And we managed to get DRS as well somehow. So this is going everything to play in this race, and at this point, if you can see the gap, we'll be able to see it going through the next sector. I believe it's a 1.5 second gap. So at this point, I was very, very happy, to be honest. But you'll be able to see here, going through this corner, really just trying to respect the limits of the track, going through in second gear, in fact, because I really just wanted to really just be respectful, to be honest. I just wanted to stay on the track, not necessarily just try and maximise it as much as possible, and really just try and be fair and clean, because that always just feels good when you do that. And you can see now we're closing on Chris X Stars lap 7, and we've actually been closed in by Yi, who's pulling the train behind him as well. So our pace, as I said, this track is not really a particularly good track of mine. It's probably one of my, I would say actually one of my weakest tracks in terms of actual pace, and definitely consistency. Consistency is something I've always struggled around here, particularly on F1 2013. So being in the lead at this point was really not expected at all, considering I haven't really played this game for definitely quite a while, but I did do a fair amount of practice for this, because obviously I do want to win the title. And you can see Yi is really closing in on us now, so we're going to go mega defensive. As I said, always try and make it as difficult as possible for the car behind to get behind, just to send a message, really. Obviously, him being a new guy to the league, you just want to get the message across nice and early that you're not going to get overtaken pretty easy. You're going to have to work a bit harder than that to actually overtake me. So that's just a little bit of mind games, which I really do tend to love to do in league racing. I find that's probably the most powerful thing, is rather than you driving it psychologically, it's that's the main battle really, because a lot of drivers here do have the same pace, particularly in one lap pace. It's all down to just how much you can hold your composure really, to be honest. And coming into the end of lap 11 now, or starting lap 11 even, in fact, taking the first corner nice and cleanly, try and get a good exit, but the DRS is here now, and you can see Yi's closing us. He's closing us very, very quickly at the moment, and we've actually been hit. We've actually been pushed. He hit our front tyre, in fact, and we've actually gone into the gravel. And at this point, I wasn't. You wouldn't believe it, but I was actually quite calm at this stage, because I know there's still 18 laps of the race to go. There's still a long way to go, and there's nothing you can do. I've had enough experience now from being in quite a few seasons in AOR, also just in league racing in general, that those things kind of happen. And to be honest, I don't really want people to roast Yi in the comments or anything, because in my opinion, I'd say it was definitely his fault, but I'd say 25% of that was also my fault as well, because I did move to the right just a little bit before the braking zone, just to deter him from actually overtaking me, which I think maybe caught him off guard a little bit. But still, nonetheless, it was a little bit clumsy. He's apologised to me, and he actually let me back through as well, so there's nothing really too much I can do us more. And obviously him being new to the league as well, probably a little bit nervous in his debut race. So I'll give him the credit of the doubt there. Just have to move on, and as I always say, never give up, because you never know. Anything can happen in this race. Anyone can make a mistake or anything. So you just got to keep pushing to the end, and I still believed I could get second place, because Broziak is actually not that far in front of us, and having a lap fresher tyres in this game particularly was a really, really big factor, something you really did need. But the undercut is also considerably powerful, a lot more powerful than F1 2014, so it's really just what you prefer. And if you haven't been watching me before, you know me already, that I definitely do prefer to actually go longer in the stint. That's definitely something I've always done when it's come to league racing, just to have that actual physical advantage on track as well. But you can see now, coming towards the end of the stint, let's see, Broziak's actually pitted now, and Martin has got about an 8-second lead now, so he's managed to take advantage of the incident. But anyway, he had the pace. He was very, very quick in practice from what I've seen, and I don't think I would have had the pace to really actually pull away anyway, to be honest. This track is just definitely just a kind of a bogey track of mine. But making our last stop now, 3 stops I believe in this race, and Broziak has now actually gone past, and Martin got a bit of a lead. We've got now, I believe it's Chris X Stars coming into turn 1, and this is crucial to stay in front of him, because we do not want to be held up, because I still believed I could catch Broziak in this race. I know there's about 7 laps to go with his fresher tyres, or my fresher tyres even. Really just going to try and put the hammer down now, just really try and get the absolute maximum out of it, and just easing into that lead. And as I said before, it's all about that momentum. If the driver can see you'll catch them a few attempts, it's very, very hard for them to break out of that cycle. It's just, I believe the momentum factor is a very important thing. And in this race, I tried to save most of my fuel to the end of the race as well, just to try and just launch an attack, and we'll be able to see now to the end of the race of what I can do. I believe we're going to skip on to my fastest lap of the race, as Martin does a 22.7, which is a pretty insane time, to be honest. If that is a clean lap, which I do believe Martin is, he's a very, very clean driver. That is pretty impressive, to be honest, which is actually a second quicker than my quickest lap at the moment. So a little bit demoralising, but this is my quickest lap of the race. A little bit disappointed though, made a little couple mistakes at the end. You'll be able to see, maybe we could have made it go a little bit quicker, but staying within the limits in this corner, which is something you can really do maximise. You can see the gap now was about 6.1 seconds to Broziak, so it looks like we're not really going to catch him as we turn a little bit too early there. That corner is so difficult. You just pretty much have to get the perfect line through there clean to get it right. But going through the chicane now, I believe this is quite a nice chicane, going down 5 gears, middle of the track, and turning straight away, staying on the track nicely, about a tenth or so up on our time at the moment, and we've actually closed the gap through that sector on Broziak. Going down to second gear, just try and get the turn in as much as possible whilst limiting the wheel spin. Do a little lift up into 5th gear. As soon as you go past the shadow, that's when you go down to 1st, and we just turn a little bit too early, which is kind of annoying because I felt like a pretty sweet lap at the time. up into rich mix, use the rest of our curves, and we'll go to the line and see what time we can do. And it's a 23.3, which is a pretty good time compared to previous AOR seasons. I think that was probably matching around like the fastest lap from previous seasons. So still shows the pace of sale. I was actually pretty happy with my pace considering this track. And it looks like we've actually closed down on the leads. So you can see the gap now. It was 6.1 seconds and actually 8 seconds to Martin. I believe when you saw the gap last time to Martin. And Martin wins the race, Brotek in second. So we've managed to recover pretty nicely. That could have been a lot worse than what it was. And we've actually closed the gap down, I believe. So in the end, our pace was very good. I'm very happy with that. And that is round 1 of AOR. So if you did enjoy that, please leave a like on the video. Any comments you want to ask me, your predictions for the season. And as I said, it's so good to be back. So thank you for watching and catch you next time. Cheers.